Welcome to TechnoSports. Today we will discuss about AMD's future in 2019. The Red Team had an amazing year of 2018, and in this 2019 they are planning to launch their new Ryzen 3000 CPUs and their new Navi GPUs. We have a solid details about their upcoming Ryzen lineup as well as their GPU lineup. So today we will discuss about both of them. It's only been a month or so after the announcement of the EPYC Rome processors that are based on the 7nm architecture. The Red Team will launch the new 7nm Ryzen 3000 series processor to completely outthrow Intel. So here are the specs of the new Ryzen 3 lineup. Coming to the Ryzen 3 entry-level lineup, this time we have three processors named the Ryzen 3 3300, the 3300X and the 3300G, which is an APU. Well, all of the three feature the 6 7nm Zen 2 cores and 12 execution threads. On the other hand, the Ryzen 3 3300G, which is an APU, will have 15 compute unit of Navi 12 GPU die that will give a huge boost to the integrated graphics, and it will be the first ever 6-core APU from the company. Ryzen 3 3300 will have a base clock of 3.2 GHz and a boost clock of 4 GHz with a TDP of 50 wattage and a price of only $99. On the other hand, the Ryzen 3 3300X will have a base clock of 3.5 GHz and a boost clock up to 4.3 GHz with a TDP of 65 watt and price of only $129. The Ryzen 3 3300G on the other hand will have a base clock of 3 GHz and 3.8 GHz and will have a TDP of 65 wattage with price of $129 only. All of the processors except the Ryzen 3 3300G is expected to release at the CES 2019. On the other hand, the Alex APU will launch at the Q3 of 2019. Coming to the very successful Ryzen 5 series, this time the Ryzen 5 will also get a huge upgrade. This time the Ryzen 5 will feature 8 compute cores and 16 threads, as well as the APU Ryzen 5 2400G will this time be called as Ryzen 5 3600G. So the Ryzen 5 3600G will be the first ever 8-core desktop APU from AMD and will feature 20 compute Navi 12 GPU die. The Ryzen 5 3600 will have a base clock of 3.6 GHz and boost up to 4.4 GHz with a TDP of 65 watt and a price of $178. Ryzen 5 3600X will have a base clock of 4 GHz and a boost of 4.8 GHz with a TDP of 95 watt and a price of $229. On the other hand, the Ryzen 5 3600G have a base clock of 3.2 GHz and a boost up to 4 GHz with a TDP of 95 wattage and a price of $199 only. As expected, apart from the APU, all of the processors is expected to debut at the CES 2019. On the other hand, the Ryzen 5 3600G will debut at the Q3 of 2019. Next, we have the Ryzen 7 lineup. The higher-end Ryzen 7 lineup will also get a massive update with a near double amount of cores and threads. So this time we have 12 compute cores along with 24 threads, and in this case Ryzen 7 will be utilizing 2 Zen 2 dies to make a higher core count. There will be two processors, the Ryzen 7 3700 and the 3700X. The 3700 will have a base clock of 3.8 GHz and a boost up to 4.6 GHz with a TDP of 95 watt and a price of $299 only. The Ryzen 7 3700X will have a base clock of 4.2 GHz and a boost up to 5 GHz with a TDP of 105 watt and a price of $329 only. Both of them are expected to release at the CES 2019. Surprisingly this time, to compete with Intel Core i9 series, this time AMD will release the new Ryzen 9 lineup. The premium Ryzen 9 lineup will be for enthusiasts and premium performance seekers. There will be two monstrous chips named the Ryzen 9 3800X and 3850X. Both of them will feature two full 8-core Zen 2 dies, making a total of 16 cores and 32 threads. The Ryzen 9 3800X will have a base clock of 3.9 GHz and a boost up to 4.7 GHz with a TDP of 125 watt and a price of $449. It is expected to release at the CES 2019. On the other hand, the Ryzen 9 3850X will have a base clock of 4.3 GHz and a boost clock up to 5.1 GHz with a TDP of 135 watt and a price of $499 and will debut at the May 2019. Well, after so many years of computers and laptops, it's the first ever in the history that a desktop CPU level processor will get some serious upgrade, and with such affordable price range and with so wide variety, PC enthusiasts and gamers will just love the new Ryzen 3000 CPUs. If all leaks are perfect, then Intel has to better push off their gears to compete with AMD's fast-running Ryzen processors. Coming to the GPUs, this time AMD will bring 3 new GPUs based on their 7nm architecture. A month back already, AMD had launched their new Radeon Instinct graphic based on 7nm architecture, and so this time they will bring the new Navi architecture based on 7nm to the consumer level GPUs. So to go head to head with Nvidia, AMD this time has named the GPUs RX 3080, RX 3070 and RX 3060 to compete with Nvidia's RTX 2070, the GTX 1070 and the GTX 1060 respectively. So here are the specs of the new AMD Radeon 3060 that is based on the latest 7nm Navi 12 GPU with 4GB of GDDR6 VRAM and will be a direct competitor to the GTX 1060 at just $129. As it is based on the 7nm Navi 12 GPU architecture, this GPU will be less power hungry and so it will have no PCIe Express lane. So at just $129 you will get a great GPU to do 1080p gaming at smooth level. Coming to the next GPU, that is the AMD Radeon RX 3070, which is also based on the 7nm Navi 12 GPU but has 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM and will be a direct challenger to the GTX 1070. It will have a price of $199. Yes, you heard it right. It will have a price of $199 and a TDP of only 120 watt. This will give a performance like the Vega 56 which we saw earlier. On the other hand, the AMD Radeon RX 3080 will have 7nm Navi 10 GPU with 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM and it will be a direct challenger to Nvidia's latest RTX 2070. That means this time the Radeon RX 3080 will give a performance up to Vega 64 plus a 15% extra graphics performance, which in turn will be the direct competitor to the RTX 2070 or the GTX 1080 and will have a price of only $249. Yes, you heard it right, and it will have a TDP of 150 watt only. All the rumors seem true. then AMD will perfectly rock the 2090 with the consumer end graphics card. Already, Dr. Lisa Su mentioned that they will be doing some great job for the enthusiasts and gamer who want great level of graphics but are short on a money. That means AMD is targeting the masses on the whole, not like Nvidia who are making graphics card which are very much costly and are not affordable to every segment of people. Well, we are not sure whether the graphics card will have the ray tracing capabilities, but we can expect the premium end ones to have. But apart from it, the prices of the GPUs and their performance are mind blowing, and if everything is right, then at CES 2019 you will get all the updates about the latest Navi GPUs and as well as the Ryzen 3000 series CPUs. It has already been confirmed by the CES that Dr. Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, will give her keynote at the January 9, 2019. So we can expect at January 2019 to get all the detailed report about the new products and about all the latest updates regarding AMD. Recently, some sources have also revealed that there might be a change in the lineup that was leaked previously. That means the APUs or the Ryzen 5 3600G and the Ryzen 3 3300G can also be released in this CES 2019. Well, let's see which of the products get launched at the CES 2019, and we will be bringing all the other updates and news about them as well. So, which product has fascinated you the most? Tell us in the comments, and so we will bring more videos like this. And to get notified every time, press the bell icon and make sure that you subscribe to Techno Sports. So, have a great day.